Compulsive Gamer, the O.C.G, and I'm here playing, you guessed it, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered.
Stocking up.
How's it going, man?
They saw us. Gonna need this. Crash the Eclipse Focus Network, he said. So how are we gonna do that? Oh, wait. I forgot. We won't. I do all dangerous stuff. You just listen. They're the handholds, right where you said they'd be. Did you get that, Silence? No? Fitting name you got there.
All right. Take a seat at the campfire and we'll have a little chat.
How nice of you to finally drop by.
Our purpose this night is to crash the Focus Network.
Yeah, tell me the part I don't know. How?
For starters, you'll need to infiltrate the Eclipse's main base.
Wait, what?
That's right. Fortunately for you, I brought you around to the back way. It's right through that crevice. Once you reach the base, you'll see the objective. A derelict tall neck that's been extensively modified. Climb the tall neck. Grafted into the top of its disk, you'll find a module of sorts. Destroy that, and the focus network will crash.
So you were part of the Eclipse?
I've never been part of anything. I serve my own interests, always. But it is the case that I assisted the Eclipse before I sensed the threat they might become. It was a mistake that I'm doing what I can to correct.
What sort of assistance did you give them?
Head through that crevice, Aloy. You have more important things to do than ask questions.
Gonna be tight. Corrupted machines. Patrolling the guards.
More like soldiers. Held in reserve for war yet to come. You'll have to get past them. The back way in. I didn't say it'd be easy.
Safe. For a few minutes, anyway. Explosions in the distance.
Pay that no mind. Doesn't concern you. Getting close now. Head for that ridge.
Getting this? I see the legs of a tall neck down there, but no tall neck.
Damn. The transmitter's been moved. Check down the ravine to the left. Only place it could be.
So much for your insider knowledge. Toward the explosions. Great.
You got exactly one shot at this, Aloy, so spare the sarcasm and make it count. You see that bridge over the ravine?
Yep.
Memorize its location. There's a rappel point on the side. That'll be your way out.
And these Eclipse troopers?
Avoid them or kill them, your choice. The blasting should cover any noise you make. Find the tall neck and destroy the module on top.
Here we go.
The herd's grown stronger bathed in shame.
Don't let it end like this! Fight! Let Shadow protect you!
Only one way out of this.
Is there fighting up ahead?
No. It's a mining operation. So long as you're quick, it won't affect you.
Enough of this. I need to find that tall neck.
Yes, you do. Now push on.
It would not have been easy to drag the tall neck down this path.
Just find it and get to the top. Destroy the module, and then get out fast as you can.
Sure is a lot of blasting up there. Sounds busy.
Busy enough not to notice you, let's hope.
I see it. They've built some kind of structure.
Climb it. The sooner this is done, the better.
I don't like this. Feels wrong.
Everything here is wrong. Just get to the module and destroy it.
Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be amazing. Because it costs you nothing. It makes my day.
I see the module.
Good. Now be quick.
This is Hades?
Aloy, this is not the time.
A metal devil.
Open the module's casing. Now. Aloy, do as I say or all is lost.
Entity has come here. Entity miscalculated. Entity cannot destroy me. I am beyond its reach.
Maybe you are. But this isn't!
Destroy the entity.
Keep moving or you'll die.
Yeah, you think? What do you think I'm doing? Taking a nap?
No, I thought I was just gonna stay here and skip rope.
A brave trail. Almost there. What?
Run, don't fight.
Come on.
Head left towards the gap.
Got it. Almost out of it.
The whole base is on high alert.
Yeah, I noticed.
Keep running! For a glimpse across the ravine.
Bridge in sight.
Directed by Michael Bay. Explosions? Explosions! Yeah, look at mine.
Rough going, but you survived.
You knew Hades was there and you sent me to him?
I won't deny I risked your life, but it was the only way. Now, with the focus network down, we can both get what we want. Access to the secrets of Zero Dawn.
I'm past trusting you with secrets.
Good. That means you're wising up. Trust is for fools. It shifts and crumbles like sand. A poor foundation for any partnership. But mutual self-interest. Now that is a solid bedrock upon which you and I might build a new science of understanding. We both need answers, Aloy. And thanks to you, we're on the verge of grasping them. It's unfold. We'll speak again.
You miserable.
Silence is great. You're never quite sure what the fuck he wants.
If I could toss this focus and be rid of you, Silence, I would. But we both know I need it. Sunfall it is. And Zero Dawn.
Sunfall. The Mad King Duran's summer palace. A bulwark of Carja might against the howling Forbidden West.
Thanks for the history lesson.
But they have no idea what lies beneath. We will learn much from this, Aloy.
That's what I'm hoping more to this good story than we're hearing, right? She's very pale. Is she unwell?
Yes. She's a fighter, but the fever on her won't lift. It only burns hotter. Her name is Shiana, my sister.
Isn't there anyone in Sunfall who can help?
We're refugees. We know our place. And there's only one healer in the territory. He's difficult. His soul is in shadow.
His soul is in shadow.
Galiv. That's him. He's very clever, but he has little care for people. Perhaps the desert scoured it all away. Perhaps he was always like that. Either way, I know he won't help us.
Well, I'll see about that. Where would I find him?
Last I heard, he was patching up soldiers at Blazon Arch. Another border battle.
You naturally do by upgrading your stats. And also by, getting shit on the trees.
A bit of advice, Outlander? We're at
Woo!
You're either peaceful.
Are you Galiv? The healer?
I had planned to spend the day gazing at the lands of my exile and feeling sorry for myself. But you're not from Sunfall, so this could be interesting.
I came from the tent city there. There's a sick girl. Her brother told me about you.
The answer is no.
What?
No, I can't spare the medicine, nor my time to administer it. My resources are already spread thin. Thin as the soiled cloths I have to use for dressings.
Why won't you help?
Look at it from my perspective. What meager goods I can get must be smuggled in. That's expensive. The behemoth's share goes to the military. Of course, there are the demands of the Citadel. Helis's kestrels are so prone to sticky ends. What's left, that's for the nobles, who can pay well for my services.
Look at it from my perspective. A little girl is sick.
I think we are calling to each other across an ideological impasse.
What's stopping me from just making you do it?
I'd have to cause a situation. And you wouldn't harm the only healer disgraced enough to work for the Shadow Carja, would you?
Well, we've only just met, but yes, it's tempting.
And take it up with the Citadel. They decide who lives and dies. Nothing you can do would compare to my punishment if I use the last of my stock on a tent girl.
You're kind of an ass, healer.
There's no cure for a conscience. But in this line of work, I've built up an immunity to it. And yet, if you feel so strongly about this one girl, perhaps we can make a deal. My charity for a Thunderjaw heart.
That's not how charity works.
It is how deals work. You'd settle my debts. For a while.
I already have the part.
Wow, we could already have a deal. Quickly now, let's salve your poor conscience.
See to the girl, and it's yours. Not before.
Oh, please. On my oath, this girl will survive to see our sad future. You and I shouldn't be seen together. Go on to the slums ahead of me. I'll find you presently. You do stand out in the crowd.
I love it when they actually acknowledge that if you've gotten the shit before.
It's you. Hello again.
I've brought someone to see your sister.
How did you... What did we do to deserve... No, wait. I don't even want to ask, in case a shadow passes over and is gone.
Smart boy.
She'll have his full attention, won't she?
Once I'm freed of other distractions, yes.
It's odd. I could have sworn Sunfall was more crowded just a few weeks ago.
Probably the Rift. I like fall. I like the fall aesthetic. Or maybe Solitude, because it's got a very green color palette, and green's my favorite color. Da.
The Sun Ring. A proud tradition of the Carja.
It's not like this in Meridian. At least, not anymore.
Give them time. Now we get to see if your attack on their focus network was entirely successful.
What are you talking about? Did I crash the network or not?
In theory, all should be well. Success. Welcome to the Citadel, Aloy. I'll check back with you in a moment. In the meantime, circulate.
I also like Marthal. Got a kind of dwarven vibe going on.
Landers, if you want to hear about today's bounties, head for the throne room. You're not going to make any shards by standing out here. I'll take the shards, even if it means. I hear the shadows coming. Very well.
By the glory of the sun revealed. Behold, radiant Edaman, the one true Sun King, the light in shadow, whose will is light and whose light is law!
I command Lucius Bahavas to speak in my behalf.
By the will of radiant Edaman does the sun glare down mercilessly upon the traitor Uthid. To the hunter who brings his head to us shall go a bounty of 500 shards.
More prisoners than royalty, don't you think? Love your hair. You and I need to chat, little huntress. The green tent down in Shadowside? I'll be waiting.
Kind of busy.
We both know you're no killer for hire. Uthid is innocent. So come see me, while there's still time to save him.
So, the way in I spoke of is right behind you.
You've got to be kidding.
Not at all. And you needn't worry about the Kestrels. They'll be too busy acting important to pay attention to you.
First time in the Citadel, gotta see the sun ring from on high.
For the Kestrels.
Watch yourself, Outlander. They want us to see this, boy. It makes quite an impression.
Not sure I like
This is insane.
Hardly.
They're going to see me.
You underestimate the ease of hiding in plain sight. The other side of the tower. Look for a vent.
I see you've been here before.
Obviously. Now, it's very important that you hear what I'm about to say. I've shown you the way in, but this humble vent marks a point of no return. Before you descend into the depths here, you should be fully committed, equipped, and focused. No distractions. If you have errands to run, do them first or hold your peace. I won't tolerate whining. Is that clear?
You'll tolerate what I give you, Silence. I didn't ask you along for the ride.
That's funny. You'll tolerate what I give you. Take it, bitch!
What she called? Shiana.
Shiana once. She sang in a tavern. How is your sister's singing voice?
She likes ball games. She wants to be a soldier.
The food is from Dowager Queen Nasadi, little ones. Her Highness knows times are hard and helps when she can. Eat. Bring some home for your families, if you have one. I've heard whispers about you. Rides machines, fancy spear, delightful freckles. Some even say you have a conscience. How extraordinary.
Who are you? You're obviously not one of the Shadow Karja.
My name is Vanasha. For now, all you need to know is that I'm a whisper of reason in this howling pit of insanity.
I know how that feels.
I'm sure you do. And so does Uthid. He's a good man, so naturally the Shadow Karja want to murder him. I've done some digging, and I think he's headed for the Green Climb. It won't take those mercenaries long to find him. He could use some help, if you're so inclined.
What makes you think he's on the Green Climb?
He knows he'll be pursued, so he needs a hideout that's both familiar and defensible. He once single-handedly held off an entire bandit clan in those foothills. My guess is that he'll fall back on what worked before.
How do you know Uthid is innocent?
I'm excellent at making inquiries. Look, he feeds orphans from his own rations and personally punishes anyone who hurts the old or infirm. The idea that he would try to kill Edelman is ridiculous. He must have found something that can embarrass the priesthood. Otherwise, Bahavas wouldn't risk marking such a well-regarded man for death.
Stop being evasive and tell me who you really are.
Stop being evasive? You might as well tell me to stop being charming. It's impossible, but I like you, so I'll tell you a secret. I have friends in Meridian, and I like to do favors for them when I can. Uthid might be of use to them, if he survives.
I'll do what I can for Uthid. But what about you?
What about me what?
What will you do while I risk my life?
Useful things, little huntress. Look for 3 dead trees south of Sunfall. They mark the start of the Green Climb. Good luck.
What's she called?
Yeah, you might as well follow the road or get some fast travel places.
Shiana once. She sang in a tavern. How is your sister's singing voice?
She likes ball games. She wants to be a soldier.
That's a shame.
Good. I can use this. I need this. just like Banasha said. Let's see if Uthid came through here. These tracks lead up that rise. Must be the green column. Can't be too prepared. Foot track stop here. Time to climb. All right, made it. Where did you go, Uthid? Scrabbling a bit. Food scraps. I'll bet Uthid stopped to see if he was being followed. He must have kept going. I've got to catch up. Dead machine. Uthid's been hunting. Everything useful has been stripped. Uthid's been gathering components, probably for ammo. Clintox, looking to scavenge. Forager. Not an easy kill, but worth it for the parts. Dead Watchers. More scrap for Uthid's stockpile.
The next one doesn't miss.
Uthid?
You're young for a bounty hunter. Or am I old for a soldier?
I'm not here for the price on your head, Uthid. I believe you're innocent.
Innocent? Come on, then. If this is a trick, it's a good one. You've earned your kill.
No tricks. Just talk.
All right. Speak.
I want to know what happened at Sunfall. What really happened.
All right. For weeks, each dawn in the tent city came with a new death. Always in their sleep, no struggle. The old, the infirm, sometimes the young. Those who couldn't fight for the cause. I should have realized then it was a culling.
Who would do such a thing?
They thought it was a curse, an evil spirit. But it was only a man. And a silent poison. It took time to catch him, but we did. We brought him before Bahavas for the sun's judgment.
The High Priest Bahavas? He's the one who put the bounty on you.
Yes. He thanked me for my diligence, then had his guards release the villain. You see? It was he who ordered the culling. Then they turned on us. Should have died with my men, so their loyalty meant something. 20 years I gave to the sun. For what? Malice and murder? As for honor, sacrifice, true sacrifice, the kind priests and rulers know nothing of, it's all a fat joke.
If it's honor you seek, the Sun Karjas seem trustworthy. A little stuck up, maybe, but trustworthy.
Those Karja once raided your Nora lands. Raided every land we could reach. It was the Sun's will. I did what I was told. Others did worse. But as their captain, I had...
Uthid, I don't care what you did. I can't absolve you. But the Karja are changing their ways. You could too.
Perhaps. Avad doesn't understand what the Sun demands of its soldiers.
Perhaps he understands it too well.
Now you sound like the blameless Murad.
I can believe you're a good man. But why go with the Shadow Karja in the first place? Why serve them?
Because of Itaman, of course. He was the one true Sun King.
Itaman's just a child.
Yes. An untainted vessel. I believed he was pure. But they used him. Used our faith. I can see that now. No shadows under a noonday sun. Bahavas didn't need to disgrace my name. I did it myself, serving a rotten throne.
I met someone who wants to get you out of this. A woman named Banasha. But first, we need to get you out of here.
What are you? You look like a hunter. You give orders like a soldier who's been out. Mercenaries. Think they'll all line up to tell me I'm innocent?
Should have stayed on the plains, Karja! The mountains belong to us! Keecook's killers! When we're done with you, you won't even leave an echo!
You didn't make it hard to be followed. Almost as if you wanted to go out in a showdown.
Not much gets by you.
Got a live one! It's up to you now, man. Rally! We can still finish them! We still got another squad on the way. We'll send the rest as soon as they arrive.
Follow me. I've stashed supplies up above. Up and over. Grab what you can while we still have time.
A robust defense is the most satisfying to break. All right, Marvels. We brought the priest out here, so let's put on a show for him.
I know that, Hood. We've unfinished business, Bahavas and I. This will be difficult. I think you rallied to a lost cause.
I don't intend to die today, Uthid.
I did. But you're starting to change my mind.
Step it up, boys!
You're not gonna see it coming.
Rally, we're finished!
Motherfucker. Oh well.
To your left, but my marvels thrive on adversity. Step it up, boys!
Stand before us! Fall beneath us! Stay on the move!
I can kill you.
Sun's judgment upon you!
How you like that?
That's the last of the marvels.
Bahavas thought he had enough fodder to keep him safe. Now there's hope for justice. Will you come with... This won't be easy. Bahavas still has his personal guard.
Save these for the
Across
trail.
there and we'll have him.
I had to come here myself to end your suffering, Uthid, and mine. The Outlanders led us here, and now that they are dead, their price is most affordable. But enough with needles. It's time for blades. Remove them from the sun's sight.
So they woke up.
Wild the sun sets on your pathetic life.
Up to his perch.
Whatever deal you worked out with him, I'll double it. More than double it.
No. I'm tired of this, Bahavas. The lies and the violence in your cheap scented oils. I don't suppose you kill yourself.
I had to. I had to. Prune the weak, or all the Karja in Shadow are doomed.
This solves nothing. But may the sun find some worth among your drying bones.
That was quite a fireworks show.
You took your time?
I was busy. What do you think happened to Yan Shan, the other mercenary band? And I had to organize passage to Meridian for a wanted man. Give us a moment, Uthid. Girl talk. You've had quite a day. I never imagined Bahavas would blunder into his own trap. His death opens up wonderful possibilities. Remember Edaman and Nasadi, the Child King and his mother guarded like hostages at Sunfall? With Bahavas gone, no one will be watching them. I want to get them out. And I could use your help.
What's going to happen at Sunfall now that Bahavas is dead?
Oh, it will be glorious. The priests will panic. There'll be infighting, skullduggery, and backstabbing as they wrangle for power. Best of all, they'll be distracted. Bahavas, your life brought misery, but your death is a flower that blooms in abundance.
What's going to happen to Uthid now?
Don't worry. You gave him a second life, and I'll put it to good use. He'll be welcomed in Meridian as a military advisor. Hopefully he can help Avad finish the Shadow Karja with as little bloodshed as possible.
Kidnapping the Sun King of the Shadow Karja is no small task.
It's not kidnapping. They want to go to Meridian, to safety.
How do you know that?
I've been posing as Nasadi's handmaiden. She's scared. For herself, of course, but mostly for Edaman.
Why do you care what happens to them?
Itaman is the Shadow Carja's figurehead. If he defects, it will remove their last trace of legitimacy. Beyond that, he's just a boy who clings to his mommy. He made a little grazer for me out of matchsticks once. It wasn't very good, but still, nobody ever made anything for me before.
What do you need to get Nasadi and Itaman out of Sunfall?
With Bahavas dead, Sunfall is the easy part. I'll handle that. The big fuss will be crossing the border to the Sundom. Find my friend, 3 Tohuadiv near the branded shore. I hired his crew to sweep the path, so all you have to do is wait for me.
If this Huadiv has already cleared the area, why do you need me?
Contingencies, little huntress. Something will go wrong, and I need protection I can count on. You.
I'll try not to disappoint.
The Nora said you would help me. Are we bound for Meridian?
Only if you want to go, my dear.
What choice do I have?
None at all. I was just being polite.
What makes you think of Vada after I served his enemies?
He's a... Just smile. You can't smile, can you? No, that's a grimace.
That's funny. No, that's a grimace.
Nervous about going to Meridian?
I've been a soldier for 20 years. I do not get nervous.
Not even around a pretty lady?
I will not dignify that with a response.
That's funny.
Quick way down. I'd have to leave something else behind. You're 3 Huadiv, right?
Huadiv.
Sent me. What happened?
I got hornswoggled, that's what. Vanasha batted her lashes, wiggled her hips, and promised us treasure. Clear a path for the royals, she said. Sneak past the garrison and skewer a few watches. Hardly a bother. Little did we know there was a damn monstrosity lurking underground. When will I learn not to gawk at skinny girls?
Why do you think Vanasha swindled you?
My crew came to Sunfall because we heard the bounties were fat. She offered us the fattest one of all, enough to retire on. It's my own damn fault for taking the bait. Should have known I'd end up with a rupture in my useful parts.
So Vanasha needed safe passage for Nasadi and Itaman, but it didn't work out?
She made it sound so sweet and easy. Find the best path to the lake, make sure it's safe. What could go wrong? Turns out, a lot. Like bloody murder in the grinding jaws of a heinous death beast?
Something attacked you from underground.
Oh, you picked that up, did you? I wondered why the Shadow Carja didn't pay attention to the pass. Well, they don't need to. A rock-eating demon guards it for them. It tunnels in the dirt, breaks through the earth, and blasts rocks from its stinking face. I barely escaped. My comrades weren't so lucky. I might shed a tear if they weren't all cutthroats and cheaters.
Fanasha will be here soon with Nasadi and Itamen. I've got to destroy that thing in the past before they arrive.
You're not too bright, are you? Well, we didn't last long against it, but I'll tell you what I know. It has armor everywhere, a little less at the rear. And when it goes underground, it will lose track of you if you're quiet. You might even be able to keep it from going under altogether if you hit its big crooked arms hard enough. That's all I can offer, friend. I promise to look solemn at your funeral before I hit the bar.
That's funny. Oh, and then oh, God. Makes me miss the fucking glider. In Forbidden West, you get a glider. So, dropping is not... Like, that's definitely a thing about this game that sucks, that they really improved upon in Forbidden West. You're really limited where you can climb, and you're really limited in where you can get down. In Forbidden West, you can pretty much climb everywhere, and you have a glider. You get a glider early on, so height isn't really an issue, which is good, because the map in both of these games are super mountainous.
Mine now.
By the radiant sun, I can't believe it. I thought that evil rock jewel would grind you up. After that miracle, all we can do is wait. Vanasha will be here soon, along with a boat that'll take the roads across the lake.
Ah, little huntress. Glad you accepted my invitation to play bodyguard. Where are your manhood, Eve? It looks like something chewed you up and spat you out.
That's pretty much exactly what happened.
The way is clear. Can we go?
I like how you always cut to the chase. In this case, literally. It won't be long before we're followed. Don't be afraid, Your Radiance. We've got excellent protection. Oh dear. Here come the Shadow Carja, and they're very angry with me.
I'll hold them off.
Very noble of you, but when I start a fuss, I like to finish it. Not that your assistant isn't welcome. Huadiv, get Idaman and his mother to the shore. Carefully. So it comes to this. I must say, after 2 years under the heel of these zealots, I'm ready to extract a little blood. Some traps would be nice.
I'll tuck that away.
Take cover up there, behind that rock.
Here they are. Let's make it quick, shall we?
Just wait.
Don't mind me.
That was an attempt, but I suspect we're not done. More of the bastards. Get ready. I don't want to jinx it, but we might be in the clear. A bit late, aren't we, gentlemen?
Sorry, ma'am. The boat's waiting.
Damn, I spoke too soon.
This one's mine. Get to the boat.
You know, this time I think I might be out of my league. If anything happens to her, I will be very cross.
We're not going anywhere.
Waiting for you.
Pass the test.
Not exactly a royal barge, is it? Oh well, defectors can't be choosers. Let's get aboard, shall we? you've done a good thing. Maybe even ended a war.
Maybe. But my war just keeps going.
Edaman, my brother, welcome home. You have nothing to fear. You are now under the protection of the Sundom. My protection. As is your mother, she will not be harmed. You have my word, the law of the sun. Aloy, it seems I see your influence everywhere. You've done so much for the Sundom, and it will always be appreciated. You have my thanks. May you walk in the light.
Appalling. I spent 2 years in the Forbidden West setting this up, and the redhead gets all the credit?
I'm still getting paid, right?
You'll be lucky if I let you live. I couldn't have done this without you. When we meet again, I'll give you proper thanks. I promise.
Yeah, she's in the sequel.
That's her, the Nora. But couldn't she dress with a little more color?
Yeah. For making dragon armor later in the game. Some of the best armor in the entire game. But you can just store them. Just find like a crate that won't be used or something, just store shit in there. Or get a house. You can actually get a house in Whiterun pretty easily just by following the main story.
Going light. Starving was bad enough, but at least we had our sun king to guide us. Now, Edaman's been stacked.
What do you always say, Alex? That sounds like a skill issue.
One day, our Sun King is here. The next, he's gone. It's like some horrible dream.
I'll come back later. That woman said to meet her at a green tent down in the camp. Might be worth a visit. I'm heading down.
I've spent a lifetime trying to uncover the secrets of this world. Where the machines came from, How the old ones achieved such marvels only to fall into silence and death. A lifetime of failure, as year by year, decade after decade, I hit walls I could not break, doors I could never breach.
Hello.
Until a Nora huntress marched out of the savage east. And voila, for her, all the deepest secrets of the earth were laid bare. I suspect you will have an easier time with this door than I did years ago.
Hold for identiscan. Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Malfunction. 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 Malfunction.
Kidding me?
You don't hear me laughing.
Shut up. There's gotta be another way. Hey! Elizabeth Snowback here! Requesting access!
Access request acknowledged. Root command functions available. Do you wish to proceed?
I do! Get me through this door!
Analyzing. Primary access inoperable due to mechanical failure. Emergency venting procedure likely to circumvent blockage. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Emergency venting authorized.
Some of them give you skill points.
I underestimated you. Too bad now
Guess you can't have everything.
That will draw attention. We won't have this place to ourselves for long now.
We? Last I checked, I was the one risking my life down here.
Yes, fine. Now will you please get moving? There's so much to learn in less time than I'd hoped.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn. We found it.
Are you really so surprised?
Facility diagnostics detect multiple failures. Attempting repair.
So, what was this room?
An entrance hall, perhaps. Have a look around.
Please take a seat and wait for your name to be called. A selection of beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a power core in here.
Please proceed into viewing room 1 for an important message.
What was this place?
A holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn. I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors. That Zero Dawn is a top-secret superweapons program. The technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague. If Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard the rumors is that I'm the one who spread them. And they are all lies. Zero Dawn is not a superweapons program. And it will not save us. Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere. Life on Earth will be destroyed. Our planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable. No matter how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more. If we had their deactivation codes, we could shut them all down. The entire swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option. The destruction of a biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating. Waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. 0 Day. The day that life on Earth ceases to exist is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
That doesn't make sense. Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking and find out how she did it. Kestrels. They got in. Through the vents.
Let nothing stop you from learning the truth.
Spread out! If it moves, kill it!
What is this place? 2?
We're too close to let tribal printers stop us now. The data points, what do they contain?
CD02 data intact. Initiating playback.
Elizabeth Sobek.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, It would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it
Gaia.
Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system.
I think it's just a regular dragon.
To be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its
The lore in this game is fucking awesome.
From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stocks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes. It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
It's a shame too that a lot of people play this game and never got to the part where they get into the really cool sci-fi shit. That's the whole thing though. It's meant to be a mystery, but people these days don't really have a lot of patience.
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life.
Well, you know, they always planned for this to be the start of a series. From the very beginning, they planned for this to be the start of a much, much larger series. So this game is like the start of, oh, we're figuring out the mystery. So it is slow. I mean, I'm not gonna, lie and say it's not. It's a slow fucking, burn. There's a lot of lore. You're supposed to be thinking, what the fuck is going on? And, chasing it, figuring it out. They have to introduce all the characters, all the factions, and that's supposed to be the thing. The game is supposed to start out more primal, more tribal, and the farther you go into the main story, the more they get into the sci-fi shit. And Zero Dawn. But like I said, a lot of people who play this game gave up before they even figured out what the fuck Zero Dawn was. But they put so much work into this game and the backstory. They talk about every single step of the way. Every single member of the team. What they all contributed. They worked with real scientists to figure this shit out. So a lot of the stuff in this game is scientifically feasible. Obviously, it's not, likely. But a lot of it could happen. It's grounded in real science. And seeing, the different people, seeing them deal with it, the shit that they went through. knowing the world was going to die and knowing that they would have to lie to people because they, had to defend them long enough for them to do it. So they had to lie and tell them, oh, we're going to have a cure. But there was no cure. But if they didn't do that and they didn't lie to all those innocent people, then they would all die and there would be no hope for humanity. So it's like they all have to deal with the moral repercussions of having to do something terrible to keep humanity alive. And then they talk about what they did while they were in the bunker and like how some of them went mad from the paranoia. Like, the lore for this game is fucking insanely dense. And once you get to the Zero Dawn shit, the story just kicks up fucking 10 notches. And then Silence, as I mentioned before, is almost like the star of this game. I mean, I know it's Alloy, but he's played by Lance Riddick. He does a fantastic job. And this game does such a great job with Silence writing, where he only serves himself. You are never quite sure what the fuck is going on with Silence. He's almost like the co-protagonist, and Lance Riddick was such a great choice for him because the whole thing is shades of gray. He's not truly bad or truly evil. He has an agenda, but he's not telling you what it is, but he thinks that it's for the good of humanity. You see the back and forth between Alloy and Silence, where they don't like each other, but they have to work together, and he just kicks the writing up a notch. Like, it's, you really are never sure, and his allegiances are shifting constantly, but it's not like he's betraying you, because, as you've seen, he never promised loyalty to Alloy. He told her, I serve my own interests. She's like, well, I don't trust you, and he's like, good. Don't trust me. We have something to work towards. And he has, like, a huge backstory that they go into, why he's doing this. He didn't just decide, oh, I'm going to do this, and all this. So, like, the story has so many fucking layers. And, like, once you get into the Zero Dawn stuff, if you're me, I wanted to know. And you're like, oh, shit, you learn more and more and more and more, and the game does a good job of throwing you breadcrumb trails. And creating a wider universe. Each game has kind of like a self-contained story that feeds into the larger narrative. So, Zero Dawn is about Zero Dawn, of course. But they give that kind of arc, figuring out Zero Dawn closure, but they leave open the story for the other parts. And it's satisfying because it creates a wider universe. They're planning for more games, but it's not just, oh, it's unfinished, to be continued. I mean, it is, but it's like, it manages to be satisfying. Because it's like, when you do an ending like that, and you have multiple games, you have to make sure that each game feels satisfying, otherwise it's just like, there's no payoff. So, the way that they do that is because they have arcs. And each game is an arc that feeds into the larger story, so the larger story isn't finished, but that arc is finished, so each game has a sense of closure and finality to it. It's not just feels, oh, left open, now I have to wait 5 years. And they planned on it being a multi-game series, at least 3. Who knows how many they planned? Probably more than 3. They intended for this to be a long-running series. So because of that, they weren't just like, a lot of game developers, they'll intend to make a series, but they'll write it one game at a time. So you'll run into a lot of things that seem hastily contrived, or areas where they didn't plan with the plot, and it just comes across as kind of sloppy. With Horizon, they planned for it to be a big series spanning multiple games, so they had an idea from the very beginning where the story was going to go, and they planned it out from beginning to end. Obviously, we don't know the whole scope, because the series is far from finished, but they do. So, like, in this game, in the sequel is Forbidden West. They have a shit ton of references to Forbidden West. Characters that come from Forbidden West, stuff that comes from Forbidden West, and at the time, we didn't know that, the sequel was going to be in Forbidden West, but they did, so they were carefully seeding that shit and foreshadowing it from the beginning. So then when you play Forbidden West, it's like, oh, okay, we touched on a lot of this shit in the last game, and you were teasing the sequel all along. And stuff like that, the forethought to plan it in advance. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they're like, well, what if players don't like it? So it is a risk, but it creates a really interesting mystery. And they managed to escalate and make things cool because they talk about this whole thing called Zenith. And they're like Scientologists. They're like almost like a pastiche of Scientologists. And they don't even really come into play until the second game. They talk about them a little bit, but they basically were Scientologists who, due to their crazy shit and their rich money, were able to escape the Earth and go to the moon. So they thought that all of humanity would die, and they would be able to come back and reclaim it. So they've been on the moon, getting all this technology and preparing. So, in the second game, they see, oh shit, there's life on Earth we can't control. So in the second game, Zenith comes to Earth, and then they're like fucking, crazy Scientologists, but because they've been on Earth, they essentially preserved their life for 1,000 years. Like the main people from Zenith have stayed alive forever. Well, you know what I mean, for a millennium. So they didn't lose their technology. It wasn't like this where we lost them and we had to start over. So they have crazy sci-fi technology because they've just been on the moon working on their shit for 1,000 years. So, you think, oh man, they're talking about robots destroying humanity and repopulating the Earth. They're like, how could they top this? Fucking crazy Scientologists coming from the moon trying to invade the Earth. Like, oh, okay, that escalated with crazy sci-fi technology. And, and then in Forbidden West, the fucking Alloy gets a rocket ship. So they heavily imply that in Horizon 3, your base is going to be a fucking rocket ship that can fly around. So, are we going to go to the moon in Horizon 3? Are we going to go to different countries? Because up until now, we've been in America. But if the party has a fucking rocket ship, they could conceivably go anywhere. Go to different countries. So, go to different parts of America. They could do both. Like, instead of doing just one area, they could have several maps in different spots across the globe. Like, every time you think you've got it figured out, they up the fucking ante.
Why Hades, then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a feral robot? Why does it want to kill me? And...
in this game, Alloy is mostly alone. She's an outsider. She works with people, but she doesn't really, cooperate with them fully. In Horizon 2, she actually establishes a home base and starts building up a party, like a gang. So, as you go and you're doing quests, you recruit people who then come in and join you. So it's like you literally building your own, faction and group in the second game to fight their group. So, that's what I'm saying. Forbidden West was such a massive leap from Zero Dawn. Zero Dawn almost feels like it's the proof of concept, the first draft, and Forbidden West is when it gets really good. Obviously, you have to play the first game, but it's like, if you play the first game, and then you play the second game, the leap in quality is so massive. Graphically, gameplay-wise, story-wise, this game had to walk so that Forbidden West could run. It's a massive leap in quality. To put it in terms that I'm sure you can get, the leap in quality between Zero Dawn and Forbidden West is like the leap in quality between Assassin's Creed 1 and Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 1, they were setting up the blueprint, the raw draft. They had the first draft, and then Assassin's Creed 2, they were able to just take it and fucking run with it. And I mean, obviously they've made, they've obviously improved with Assassin's Creed. They've moved forward since then. But the gap between Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 was just so fucking massive. Assassin's Creed 2 was so much better. And that is what I felt playing Forbidden West. Like, holy shit. The weapons, the story, the characters, the graphics, you know, the armor, the map. So, you know, I'm really excited for where Horizon 3 could go. Because if Horizon 3 is just as much of a leap from 1 to 2, we're looking at potentially one of the all-time fucking great games ever made. You know, so it's like Horizon 1, pretty good, but rough around the edges. Horizon 2, really fucking good. Horizon 3, fucking masterpiece. And then, like I said, you know, them going on a globe-trotting fucking adventure, maybe even going to the fucking moon. Because they talked about how, like, they're terraforming the moon, so there might actually be shit up there. Awesome.
Apollo, the Archive of Knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
Alert. Medical wing inaccessible.
And that's what I'm saying, you start playing this game, and it's like, yeah, this is pretty good. You know, but it didn't really grab me. I liked it, but it was like, and then you get to the Zero Dawn shit, and you're like, oh, okay. It's immediately like, the game fucking snaps up. But you don't get to the fucking Zero Dawn shit until like halfway through. You know, it's an investment. You have to put in the time, and once you do, the game gets a lot better. But like I said, a lot of people don't want to put in the time. It's like Fallen Order. I love Jedi Fallen Order, and most of the time, when I see people say they didn't like Fallen Order, they played it for an hour or two, and then they gave up. Almost everyone I've talked to that has finished Fallen Order likes it, because Fallen Order starts off slow. It is a slow game. You start out, Cal is weak as shit. You know, you don't really know the characters. You hardly have any force power. You're getting your ass kicked. And then, you know, as you go through Fallen Order, it gets way better. You know, you start getting more powers. You start getting cool shit, the double lightsaber stance. And you're like, oh, okay. You know, and then by the end, man, you're fucking infiltrating a fucking underwater moon base and running for dear life from fucking Darth Vader. I don't really agree with that. I thought Survivor was pretty much better in every conceivable way. Like, I don't really understand, like, the story is better. The fucking planets are bigger and have more shit to do. There's actual side quests. In Fallen Order, all the side quests were just collectibles. Most of the collectibles didn't even have any, like, reward. The fucking story picks up. You have more of Darth Vader in it. There's more enemy variety. You keep all of your shit from the first game and you just add on to it.
Never know when I might need these.
So, you know, it took you a really long time to get a good arsenal in Fallen Order. So it's really cool that when you finally get to fucking Survivor, you know, you hit the ground running. And Cal goes from being a fucking kind of scrawny kid to being a fucking badass. Like, you really feel like he's moved up in the world and he's a Jedi now. I mean, not really. Jedi, yeah. But Kobo, dude, has a forest, mountains, a swamp. a big ass town that you can explore. Smuggler's Rest. I mean, obviously, you're of course entitled to your opinion, but I felt like Survivor just took everything Fallen Order did and turned it up to 11.
Is there another route?
I've done this before. Just be my
Scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm? My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Souvet? Dr. Souvet? Christina Souvet?
Yes. I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now.
Maybe
And
there's a
yet,
storage area nearby.
Plus, you lose, but you get to fight Darth Vader, which I thought was fantastic.
Done. I should check the door nearby.
I mean, not really. In all fairness, you know, I was satisfied with it. Darth Vader is a fantastic Jedi. He's amazing, but he's not immortal. He can be hurt. He can be injured. I mean, you know, Luke Skywalker beat his ass, and he was a fucking, you know, barely a Jedi. I mean, yeah, he is super powerful and all that, but, you know. And Seer Junda has been a Jedi for like 30 years. Is a fucking master. So, you know, the fact she could go toe-to-toe with him and damage him. I mean, he, you know, he still fucking impaled her, killed her, so it's not like, you know, she beat him. Plus, Seer was such a big character that if she went out like a bitch, it kind of would have dampened the narrative impact. Like, hey, this character you spent 2 games getting to know? Yeah, she just died in 15 seconds, you know? Even though she's like a, you know, main character in the game, so... She hurt him, so it, you know... I was satisfied with it. If she had beaten the shit out of Vader, or she had made Vader look like a bitch, she just hurt him. And that in and of itself was an accomplishment. Very few Jedi could ever hurt Vader. But he still, you know, walked away where
looks intact.
She fucking did not.
That should do the trick.
Plus, if fucking...
Now let's get that door open.
If Vader didn't even get injured in the fight, it would just mean get it for a boring fight. Plus, they already had you fucking running from him at the end of Fallen Order, so if they'd done that again, it would have been like, oh, really? We're doing the same shit twice now? It's upside down. Fuck. Plus, honestly, it's very rare that a game actually catches me off guard. And surprises me. And I actually was surprised by Bode being a traitor. I did not see that coming. Like, that actually really caught me off guard. And they did a really great job of giving hints about it without spilling the beans. And when you're replaying it, you can see, oh, okay. Which I thought was pretty cool. Right.
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
My name is your device this is gonna oh god. Okay, let's try this.
That did it. Door should have power.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
Eclipse. They're here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. Second floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
On me!
Keep your head down! Your end has come! You cannot run from righteousness! Get some...
That's the last of them.
Structural failure. Repeat.
Or not.
There! I see something!
You will not escape the shadow!
Room's clear. For a moment, anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
Hello, I'm Margot Shen, and this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So you probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulation, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical at places.
If Gaia... I've seen these shapes before. In cauldrons.
But of course, the birthing places of Gaia's machines.
I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But more eclipse.
Careful now.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebaji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, The ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
Still sniffing around.
Battle is upon us!
The shadow will...
The last of them. Alone once more.
In what should have been a cave of wonders. Look around. See if anything is left.
Welcome to Hades, Zero Dawn's extinction failsafe protocol, the ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine you're Gaia, 200 years from now, and this new biosphere you're growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. Spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do. Which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, Not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocating. But you get the idea. Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one, blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
See, Hades was originally designed as a failsafe, but a signal came down and fucked it up and made it operate on its own.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
And how does it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan, getting worse? Looks like the only way onwards.
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist. I am Roger Klein, the Alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of
They thought every fucking little part of this out.
and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem. To say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
Got too much already. Cradle facilities. Elizabeth said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
All Mother Mountain. It was one of them?
There's only one way to be sure.
The hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted Alpha registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office.
Would benefit from antilopine morphologies, though caprid forms show superior load-bearing capability. You're a quick study, Gaia. Dr. Sobek, as I have conducted this comparative analysis of mammalian morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Some component that got removed.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion causes me to experience a grief. that is difficult to describe. Am I not functioning?
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good. You will undergo a brief period of unconsciousness during relocation to Prime and filing statement.
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
When you're back up and running at the new site, we'll bring the subordinate functions online and see where we stand.
Elizabeth, I detect distress. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I realize that circumstances compel us to launch earlier than we hoped, but all subsystems are operational. The odds stand in our favor.
But what if... Gaia, there's nothing left out there. You can't even survive unless you're wearing an environmental suit. There are billions dead, in fear and agony. What if it was all for nothing?
Elizabeth, extinction was inevitable. Thanks to you, life will have a future.
You really believe that?
I believe in you, Elizabeth. In you, all things.
Even the so-called main villain of this series, basically, the one who fucked humanity over, Ted Faro, is not portrayed as a mustache-twirling villain. He's portrayed as a brilliant but narcissistic man that made a colossal fuck-up. He's almost like a Elon Musk type figure. He's super smart, super creative, and, you know, he helped, in a lot of ways, save the world. Because in this world, the apocalypse happens well after, you know, our history. So, we had global warming and all that, and he, along with Elizabeth, when she was younger, helped save humanity and undo the effects of global warming. So for a while, Ted Faro was universally loved. They called him the man who helped save the world. You know, and then he decided to get into weapons manufacturing. And that made him a trillionaire, made him the world's richest man. But Elizabeth didn't sign up for that shit, so they parted. And it created animosity between them, where they used to be best friends. He was like her mentor. She's like, I didn't sign up for this. And then, in an effort to make his robots, there's like tons of robots at the time, automated robots, the best robots, he made it so that they could convert matter into biofuel. They could eat anything around them and turn it into energy. And he made them virtually unhackable. Well, the problem is, and he made them capable of replicating. So when one of the machines had a glitch that took it out of command, it started replicating. And then those machines replicated, and then those machines replicated. So for like every one machine, it could make 5 more. Which, as you can imagine, really fucking quickly gets out of hand. And they convert biomatter to fuel, so they started feeding on the earth. And because he had made sure they couldn't be hacked, it would take the world's best supercomputer 50 years to crack them. But, as they say in one of the audio logs, they had at most 16 months at the rate that they were replicating before they were all fucking dead. So he wasn't like, oh, I'm going to destroy the world. He was just trying to make what he thought was good robots so that, you know, nobody would replace him, and made a colossal fuck up. You know, and he felt incredibly guilty about it, and wound up using pretty much all of his fortune to fund Zero Dawn. You know, but then while he was in isolation, he started to go fucking crazy. So he's portrayed as like a sad, fallen man who kept trying to make things right and then kept fucking things up. And well written with tons of nuance where he's, you know, it's not, oh, I'm gonna kill the Earth. It's like, you know, he's just a really flawed dude. He's almost tragic because he didn't intend for any of this to happen. And he is unimaginably wrecked by grief at what he is responsible for. You know, where he really just wanted to help. So they have this, you know, incredibly nuanced villain who's really tragic. They have given him a nuanced relationship with Elizabeth where they were like best friends for decades. He was their mentor, and then they became bitter enemies. You know, then he winds up coming to her for help when he realizes just how much he's fucked up. He goes to her for help, and then, so, you know, they have like a work relationship, you know, and then as he's, doing what he's doing, he starts to go fucking crazy in bunkers and isolation. Like, I find the lore of this series just incredibly fucking great. And so well thought out and multifaceted. Honestly, this is one of the best written takes on science fiction I think I've ever seen. And the fact that they did the research, you know, so this is all based in reality, you know, is really fucking cool. And they didn't just do the apocalypse, they did 3 or 4 decades of history ahead of ours before the apocalypse, where things were good. They did, you know, they did the fucking history of them in the bunker. They did like a millennium, 1,000 years worth of history of people once they got out of the bunkers and all the societies and where they went and their cultures and their tribes and how they responded to society. Like, you know, alloys from the Nora. Okay, so you find out that the Nora are called the Nora because they came from the Cheyenne Mountains, from the NORAD mountain base. So when they found the remnants of our army base, they're just like, oh, NORAD? Nora. So, like, all of these societies that have this rich history are rooted in the world and the stuff that they found and how it changed them. And it's incredibly well written. You could literally spend fucking hours and hours and hours just reading up on the fucking lore of this game. Which I find to be just really, really well done. They basically made like 1,000 years of history and fully wrote it out, and then made hundreds of characters. Alright, man, I'll see ya. Actually, I'm going to take a short break. I'll be back.